Ever since I left employment, my income has kind of been a bit up and down. So obviously I don't earn as much money anymore because back then I used to have a double income, one being from my fixed income from my salary job and the other one from my side businesses. So I've kind of had to relearn how to manage my money, but this time on a lower income. I know a lot of fresh grads in Malaysia, unfortunately, do start off with a low salary, so this should be helpful for you. So today I'll cover how you can both budget and manage your money well, and also hopefully save some of it despite being on a lower income. So the first thing that we'll want to do is to organize our money well. So we'll want to have 3 different accounts for our cash, one being a spending account, the second one being a savings account, and then the final one, an account for our long-term investments. So the spending account is where we're going to get all of our cash for things we're going to pay for throughout the month. So stuff like your bills, your groceries, your food, and even your entertainment. There really isn't a big issue of spending all of your money in this account because the purpose of the cash in this account is for you to spend anyway. So the graph for this account should be kind of up and down. Every month at the start, you're going to add some money into it and then you're going to spend, you're going to spend, you're going to spend. And by the end of the month, you would have probably spent all of it. If you have any cash left over, then you're going to have 2 choices. One is you're going to bring it forward to the next month. So the next month you have more money to spend. Maybe you can have a nice dinner or whatever it is. Or your second option is to save any excess cash and put it into your savings account. So unlike our spending account where the value of it goes up and down every single month, it's expected, it's normal, but the aim for this savings account is for it to go up consistently every single month. So the purpose of this is for us to save up for any emergencies or any unexpected costs that might come up. So especially for people who are on a lower income, it's going to be hard for us to come up with a large sum of cash in case of any emergency, like let's say our car breaks down. We don't want to have to borrow money or take on loans just to pay for this, which is why it's critical for you to build your savings. So the general rule of thumb for this is save up 3 to 6 months worth of your expenses in your emergency fund. So once you've done this, you can also set up other savings accounts like your sinking funds for a holiday that you may want to go for, or maybe you want to save up for a down payment on a car. But I would say don't put any of your money to other savings accounts until you have at least 3 months worth of your expenses saved up. So let's say you've done, you've met all of your savings needs, you have your emergency funds, you've already saved up for any goal that you might have, then you can start moving any excess cash that you have every month into a long-term investment account. So to manage all of these different accounts, we want to keep it separate so that we don't accidentally overspend all of it, not knowing which is which. For our long-term investment account, it's going to be easy to separate it because obviously you're going to need a broker or a different app for you to invest your money anyway. By the way, for any of you guys who want to invest your money in Malaysian stocks or global stocks, then check out M+ Global. They are a local broker that are licensed by Securities Commission Malaysia, and they also have one of the best user experiences in my opinion, which makes it easy to use for beginners. If you're a Muslim, they also have a Sharia compliant screener that's built in within the app, which means it's going to be easy for you to identify stocks that are Sharia compliant before you invest in it. So you can invest in stocks like Apple and Tesla from the US, or you can invest in stocks like Maybank in Malaysia. If you guys want to sign up, then use my link. I'll leave it down in the description below. And if you deposit 2,000 ringgit, you'll get a free share as well as a trading voucher worth around, I think, 80 ringgit. Anyway, back on how we're going to split our money between our spending and savings accounts. So we're going to have 2 options here. One, if you want to use the same bank account, then make sure that your bank has a feature that lets you split your money. So I know Maybank has this in your May app, it's called Tabong, and I know GX Bank has it as well, it's called Savings Pockets. If your bank doesn't have a feature like this, then your only option will be to create a different savings account for your savings money. Other options for places to keep your savings, you can also put it in money market funds like Versa, or if you're Bumiputera, you can put it in Amanah Saham. In terms of how much money you should split between your spendings and your savings, obviously I'm going to say save as much money as you can. But I know obviously it's going to depend on you and your financial situation. So let's say every month your income is 2,500 ringgit net. So after taxes, EPF and all that, you make 2,500 ringgit. And your essential spending is 2,200 ringgit, which means you have an excess of 300 ringgit. So what you're going to do is every month when you receive your salary, you're going to take this 300 ringgit and you're going to straight away move it to your savings account so that you pay yourself first. If you really need the extra cash for the rest of the month, so let's say you've already spent 2,200 ringgit but you need a bit more cash to last you throughout the rest of the month, then you can always withdraw it from your savings account and put it back into your spendings account. Just make sure that you don't do this too often because like I said, we want to see our savings consistently grow. But that's why we want to split our money too. at least, it's a bit more difficult for us to withdraw that money from one account and move it to another before we can spend it. If you don't know how much you're spending every single month, then you really should, but I'll cover more about that later in this video. But for now, you can use any standard budgeting methods out there like the 50-30-20 rule, where 20% of your income is going to go to your savings. So if you can't do 20% to save, then try doing 10%. And if you can't do 10%, then try doing 5%. Try your best to save as much money as you can, even if the amount is very, very little. You can always increase it as time goes by, but right now, what we want to do is we want to build the habit of saving money. Something else that you'll want to consider is to actually use a credit card. So I know this might be controversial. Some people are going to say that if you're on a low income, you shouldn't use a credit card because you don't want to get into debt. And I agree with that. But there is a way to use the credit card more responsibly so that you don't get into debt in the first place. So what you want to do is you want to pay off your credit card bill every single week. So actually you don't have to wait for your statement to pay off your credit card bill. You can check your outstanding balance from the app at any time, and you can make a payment anytime as well. So the reason that we want to do this is critical if you want to use a credit card on low income. The reason that we want to do this is we want to make sure that we don't overspend. So if we keep swiping, and we just pay it once a month, then we might overspend only to realize at the end of the month that we don't have enough money in our spending account to pay for it. I know some people pay every 3 days, some people pay every day. I'll leave it completely up to you, but make sure at least pay it off once a week. The reason we want to do this is that, at least when we pay off our credit card bills every week, we will see the money in our spending account go down and down and down, and we will realize that, we don't have that much money left to spend for the rest of the month. But we want to use a credit card despite being on a low income for two reasons. One is it will help you build a credit score. So maybe now you can't afford a car or a house, but down the line you will be able to get it. So having a good credit score from now will help you get a loan approved in the future, and you might even get better interest rates. Secondly, and more importantly, is that by using a credit card, you will get some pretty good cash back, which for people on a lower income can be quite a bit of money saved. Even back when I was on a higher income, I still tried to maximize my cashback every single month because to me, it was free money. I was going to spend it anyway. I may as well get some cashback on it. Even until today, I'm still getting over 50 ringgit every single month just from credit card cashback. So a good option for a credit card for low income earners is the UOB One card. It actually checks all of the boxes. So for one, the minimum income to apply is only 2,000 ringgit, which is pretty low. And you can get up to 10% cashback for certain categories. And to be eligible for this cashback, you only have to spend 500 ringgit every month, which again, I think is pretty reasonable. If you want to sign up, then use my link. I'll leave it down below as well, so you can get some nice rewards when you sign up. As of the time that I'm recording this video, just for signing up and spending a bit of money, you can win either an iPhone, or if you don't win that, then you'll get a guaranteed 300 ringgit touch and go voucher. So yeah, credit cards can be beneficial to us. I know it's controversial, but in my opinion, it's actually a pretty good tool. Just make sure that you pay it off every single month, and make sure that you don't make any late payments because it can really destroy you. If you don't think that you can manage your credit card well, if you don't trust yourself, you don't think you're so responsible financially yet, then stay far away. This entire section is more of an optional add-on for those of you who think you can control your spending well. So it's a nice to have, but it's not necessary. The final thing that we'll want to do is to manage our spending. So this one is important for everyone. I know a lot of people on a high income, they're still struggling financially, they're still living paycheck to paycheck because even though they're earning a high income, they're also spending a lot of money. But for people who are on a lower income, I would say this is even more important. The first step here is something that I always talk about. I feel like a broken record, but you have to track your expenses. You need to know how much you're spending every month and where you're spending your money to even begin managing it. So what you have to do here is just download any money tracking app from the App Store. It should be free, and you should just start inputting every single transaction that you make every single day. It's going to be tedious, I'm not going to lie to you, but this is something that you have to do. There is no other choice. So once you've collected data for a few months, then it's time to review your spending and see whether it's sustainable. So obviously, you don't need to be a genius to figure this out, but if you're spending more than you're earning, then that is a problem. Even if, in my opinion at least, even if your spending is exactly the same as your income, I would say that's still a problem because that means that you have no money left over to save. And like I said earlier in this video, we do want to save money. I know some people really can't afford to save because of commitments, supporting their family and stuff like that. But like I said, just try your best to save as much as you can, even if it's just 10, 20, even 50 ringgit a month. But if you're in this situation, let's say you are spending the same amount that you're making every single month, meaning you have no money left over to save, or even worse, if you're spending more than your income, then you really only have two choices. One is you have to find ways to earn more money, but the other option is to cut down on your costs. There are lots of ways for you to earn more money, but to keep on topic for this video, I'll be talking more about how you can cut down your costs. So this is where your expense tracking will come in handy, because once you start inputting all of your expenses, you'll start to get like pie charts of different categories and how much you spend on it. So just review this and then decide, find the areas that you can start to cut down on. I actually did this myself before I quit my job because I knew I was going to have a lower income, so I needed to lower my expenses as well. So I just had a look, at which categories I was spending too much on. For me, it was food. So then I just had to make the conscious decision to just cut down my spending there. This is going to sound harsh, but if you're on a low income, then you can't really afford a lot of the luxuries in life. So things like eating out, things like entertainment, we will have to cut down on it. So try to eat at cheap places, cook yourself or look for cheap places to eat like kopitiams or even food courts. And for subscriptions, Netflix, Spotify, if you have them and you're struggling financially, maybe it's time to cancel them. You might think that it's cheap. You might think that Spotify is just 15, 20 ringgit a month. It doesn't mean much, right? But you have a lot of subscriptions that can really stack up and it can cost you a lot of money every single month. You can even look to cut down on the necessities in life. So I used to work in a telco and I was really shocked at how much Malaysians spend on their phone bill. So you don't need to pay a lot of money for a lot of data. You can get very, very cheap plans out there these days, like this one from Udo, where you just spend 20 ringgit a month and you're going to get 20 GB worth of data. I think it's a pretty good deal, and 20 GB I think should be enough for most people. Also, try to minimize your transport costs. Don't even think about buying a Honda or even a Proton X50. Try to look at cheaper options if you really have to, like a Pro Dua Axia. But if you can, even better, take public transport. Right now, I'm on this My50 Pass where I get unlimited transport rides on LRT, MRT, bus, all that good stuff for just 50 ringgit a month. And don't even think about buying an iPhone. Seriously, leave all of these luxuries for when you've progressed in your career and you've earned more money, because then at least you won't struggle financially just for making a big purchase, and you'll actually enjoy these purchases a lot more because you worked hard to earn it. So those are the things that you're going to have to do to manage your money better on a lower income. I'm not going to lie, it's going to be hard, but we got to do what we got to do. Just make sure your finances are all in check so that you have peace of mind and you can focus fully on growing your career as well as your income. Anyway, thanks for watching this video to the end, guys. Let me know down in the comments if you have any other tips on how people can manage their money better on a lower income. If you enjoyed this video, give us a huge thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.